Shalom. Welcome to another episode. You know what I'm saying? You know. Okay, man. Well, I thought I was glitching there. Man, welcome to another episode. You know what I'm saying, man? Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Tonight we're gonna talk about controversy with mermaids and of course Brett Favre being welfare queen and whatever other topics that we're gonna chop it up about tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys join us and just come on in and we'll have a chat, man. What's up, bro?
Man, cooling, man. Welcome to Yah'm saying podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm cooling, bro. I'm just sitting here watching the world, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's like it is constant like social media. Like man, like everything is like it seems like something always happening. You know what I'm saying? Like it just something one thing after another. You know what I mean? Like you know,
Yeah, yeah. We're in a phase where we always talk about it on here, right?
mm-hmm,
That we're in a transition of
mm-hmm,
of faster information,
mm-hmm.
and we're seeing people not know how to react when we get information too fast,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have time to dissect it before you're outraged.
Yeah.
Um, which literally news companies are actually starting to talk about, because they want to slow down information,
Mm-hmm.
which is strange. But it also shows the emotional intelligence of normal, like regular human beings, that we're not ready for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially in the days of in the day of, I guess, algorithms and how they use algorithms to siphon news to you. You know what I'm saying, or
Hmm.
siphon things to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I noticed that, like what I mean. I mean, I've been knew that, but like it's more prevalent on TikTok, man. Like I don't interact with TikTok that much, even though
Hmm.
I probably have to with this, with this platform that we doing. But like I don't interact with it that much. But I'm telling you, I'm like, man, what is all this crap? Like, what I'm saying? That just get pushed to me. You know what I'm saying? So with all these algorithms, and that's how people stay. I think stay in a state of like outrage all the time, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not anything that's about rational or being rational. No rational
Hmm.
thought and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how things like the Little Mermaid happens, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People just they see something and they're like, oh, I gotta react to it, and that reaction is always that, what I mean, like it's gotta be like, like let me react negatively to this, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Right. That is the plug, right?
Hmm.
Um, because instead of like we as humans looking at this as more of a homogenous, um, type of equitable growth, we're like it's a section of us that they want to pull us back, which we always talk about again, where they want to pull us back to their norm, their ideology, their thoughts, of their perception of the world.
Yeah, 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 man. And again, and when you change it, right? Change that perception, even a little bit, even something that should be normal,
Yeah.
people get outraged, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like we're talking about the Little Mermaid, you know what I'm saying? People were upset because the Little Mermaid is played by Chloe Bailey, I think. Um uh Let me look it up. I should have
Yeah.
had it 'cause I had her name. But she, a black actress, a black singer, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? A black actress. And people had to react vitriol, to it. You know what I'm saying? Again, and that's just not the only one, you know what I'm saying? People, I guess black people who watch the new Game of Thrones or whatever, there's like a rich millionaire, black, and he's black, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? People like they weren't upset about the dragons, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They were upset, you know what I'm saying? Like they weren't upset about the dragons, like oh hold on, that black dude, he can't be a millionaire, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. or
Yeah.
and it's like Little Mermaid, right? Right, like the thing that that people get upset about is not the fact that the fish can talk or the crab can talk. It's that it's that the mermaid is black and in that blue ocean. Like, yo, like, what is y'all really? Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you're gonna spend your energy on, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, so, it's crazy, man, how folk, man, how folk just, I
Yeah.
don't know, man, I don't get it, man. I don't get how people, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
No, bro, you just hit it right there. You, you know what I'm talking about? Like a half human, half fish. That's not what you choosing to get upset about. But because the fish is half black.
Yeah, because the fish is half black. Not like, oh no, that's what I no, no, that makes me mad. You know what I mean? Not that the crab is out there singing under the sea. You did Sebastian out here singing under the sea. You got a fish that can talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One thing that outraged you that you have to be upset about, you got to be upset about. You know what I mean? The fish. You know what I'm saying? And then Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
not the fact that there's dragons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the black man who got money. That's what you upset about. And it's like, yo, I just don't understand, man. I just don't understand how people can just, you know what I mean? Like,
No, man,
yeah.
it's exactly how we started the conversation, right?
Hmm.
That humans, because of information, when you don't when one, our education system has failed in this country
Hmm.
to really teach people about actual history, real context of life, and the progression of just industries, technology, and all of these different things. They didn't teach us in a manner that we can understand it and really put that together with our emotions, right? And so again, like it's literally everything that we're ironing out, man. It's just like so people are finding things like that because race has been the one thing that we know for a fact that has been taught and driven in our society, and now we see it play out also in the world.
Yeah, and then eventually find its way to social media, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and there are some folk out there who will say ignore it, but you can't ignore it because
Yeah.
it always manifests itself, into something else. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's not the mermaid, well then once the moment you change any character, any fictional character that people are used to seeing the default of, right? And
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
default in this country is, white people,
Hmm.
generally white males, or white females, because a lot of the people who are creating these characters are generally white, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or passing, you know what I'm saying? So, nobody ever like think back and be like, oh wait, hold on. The dude on Kung Fu, he was white,
Yeah.
playing that
Yeah.
Asian guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The dude that was supposed to be Zorro, a character based in Mexico. You know what I mean? He's white. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, and Cleopatra and on and on and on. There's these other things,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, where they weren't they weren't properly portrayed, you know what I mean, of the ethnicity, people, that these characters are based on. But fish in the
You have crossed the line.
across the line. This is it. This is the last straw.
Now, now we're going to take poetic justice. We we're
Yeah,
going to put
yeah,
white people in poetic justice now.
yeah, I seen that. They're gonna do everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. Friday's gonna be different. Although somebody did say they did remake Friday. They just called it Pineapple Express. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But yeah, they want to remake everything, man. Like, God dang, y'all already got Eminem and Post Malone and other kid. Like, dang, y'all can't be happy. Dang, we can't get a fish in the ocean. We can't get a fish. Gee, man, we can't get a make believe black man who's
Oh,
rich. Like we can't get that.
oh man. Well,
Oh.
I feel sorry for the orcas probably in the next year or two, man,
Mhm.
because they're primarily black. So eventually they're going to come for the orcas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy how people in 2022 again, why you just can't ignore this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? You just can't ignore it. So when you have a chance to, you know, correct somebody, you know what I mean, who feel the need to get into black people's business, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you have to correct it, man. You can't ignore it. I think a lot of people don't understand that a lot of our parents spent the 80s and the 90s ignoring it.
Hmm.
They spent the 80s and 90s like surviving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, all right, civil rights movement over, Black Power movement kind of dwindling, and they just trying to figure out how to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? And how to move up and not lose their job and move into suburbs and
Hmm.
things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So they didn't have time to, you know what I'm saying, to focus on every bigoted aspect. And sometimes focusing on those bigoted aspects would have cost them their job, their livelihood, you know what I mean?
Or
And
their lives.
yeah, or their lives, man, or their life.
Yeah.
You're in the South, right?
Yeah.
If you were in the South during that time, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and like, I was listening to another gentleman. He was talking about like how like every generation, the younger generation, that we have to sit down and talk to them and let them know like we can like we had to come to a realization, right, with our own mother, right, that we were at a point we were expecting her to to be mentally in a certain place, but not realize the mental struggles that she went through in that period of time. So these kids nowadays, like, you know, that with the expectations of like they're supposed to live outside of in middle class, and their parents are supposed to teach them about finance and investing and all of these different things. It's just like, no, like technically we're the first generation that's even literally crossing over to be able to do that in a higher number.
That
So
part.
so we are learning.
Yeah.
We are still learning. Now you, while you're young, should be learning and should be figuring it out, so when your kids come along, you know how to do it, because we took you from when we were in the hood to move you to middle class and the
Hmm.
suburbs and so forth. Now
Hmm.
you got to take that wealth and build on it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that part, man. They gave us steps so we can climb, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't go back and be like, well, nobody told me how to climb each step. So I don't, you know what I mean? And then generational curses. And I know that's something, a topic that was our original topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it kind of leads into it, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's saying that, my thing is, that we got to stop saying generational curses, um, because it pushes like our parents, like you're saying, our parent, a lot of the cases, our parents didn't have the tools, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Our grandparents could barely read, barely had a middle school education. But
Yeah.
what were they going to teach? What the only thing they had to give was hard work. This is what I got to give you:
Hmm.
hard work.
Hmm.
You go figure it
Hmm.
out. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know, and everything that came along with all that, man. I mean, we've lost a lot of our uncles and aunts and even our mom,
Yeah.
at a young age.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, man. Yeah, man. It is, yeah, man. That's what we were talking about, man. Yeah, man. Dang, Calvin, I should have contacted you, man. But I'm most definitely hit you up, Calvin, so we can have that generational curses conversation. Be a part of that, brother.
It'll be a nice conversation, because if I think people need to also understand the context of where it came from, right?
Mhm,
The whole, Cain and Abel, and
mhm,
that lineage, and um that which cursed us as we
Mm,
were cast out, and so it's biblical.
mm,
And people really got to understand that when they racialized the world, they that's when they deemed our skin was was of evil,
mhm,
but
mhm.
we bought into the concept.
We bought into this idea that we held some responsibility, you know what I'm saying, for our condition, right? That was the
Hmm.
whole black capitalism thing, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Was that and the bootstraps, right? That's the whole point about boots and bootstraps. It's saying that you are the reason why you are in XYZ position.
Right, right.
It's you, you know what I'm saying? And the generational curses thing to me, without getting too much deep into it, but when we say generational curses, we are saying that our parents somehow um could have made different choices.
Hmm.
Yes, that is true. That is true. What's up, Will? What's up, brother? Um, what's up, brother?
What's
Uh
going on?
yeah, yeah, Willie, man. It's good to see them boys getting back up as well. Them boys over at That Feeling Podcast, man. Go check them boys out, man. But you know, uh when we're talking about generational curses, you know what I'm saying? Like in many cases, even if our parents made different decisions, right? That wouldn't have
Hmm.
resulted in you being here. You
Right.
dig what I'm saying? So your circumstance isn't based on curses. You just had the freedom to make proper decisions and learn and things of that nature. So we gotta show our ancestors and elders some grace, man. You know,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
it. But yeah, man. Well, anyway, I just find it, with the mermaid thing, man. I just find it like, like I don't know, man. I just get into this place where it's like, like this is happening in 2022, and I get to this place and like, I thought it would have been our generation, who would get rid of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because like we were talking about, this younger generation think that they invent stuff, right? They don't know, they
Yeah.
think they invent it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, they try to make these like I don't know, quote unquote interracial couple, you know what I mean? Like it's
Hmm.
a thing,
Hmm.
like it's new. Like, no, man,
Hmm.
like you ain't seen Pat Mahomes, you ain't seen the
Yeah.
NBA, dog. Like, where you think them parents come from? They come
Yeah.
from our generation, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all didn't create anything new, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So but it is, people from our generation who is perpetuating a lot of this bigotry, what I mean, that should have got dropped, when we were in schools and we were in more diverse schools, we were in more diverse community, children and
Yeah.
things of that nature. Our music was more diverse, our communities were more diverse, you know what I mean, and everything else. But it's really,
Hmm.
our generation that's perpetuating or keeping all this stuff going, Gen Xers, you know what I mean? When you realize how young Gen Xers are, like, I think the oldest Gen X is like 55 or something like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, because the baby boomers are trying to give us their last gift to us before they check out. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, man.
They trying to package up racism all over again and pass it on to everybody else,
Mhm.
saying peace out.
Yeah,
You know, you
peace
know what I'm
out.
saying?
Yeah.
Because that's where it's being taught from, right?
Mhm,
Because they grew up in an era where their parents
mhm,
like was in a complete society of
mhm,
of just racism just everywhere,
mhm,
and they grew up under the same thing all the way till you got to what 1960, 65.
yeah,
You
abouts,
know,
something like that.
yeah, and they were in either in their teens or in their 20s at
Mhm.
that point of time. So now they're 60 and 70 years old. Yeah, they are trying to teach it and pass it along.
Yeah, yeah. But at the end of the day, I always come back to this, man. Because I remember I got into an argument with I remember I got into a full fledged. It's gonna sound silly, but I got to a full-fledged argument, right, about Dragon Ball Z, right? About a Dragon Ball Z character, right? I think Super has vindicated me, but at the time I got into an argument, right, about I think it was the Trunks' character, right? And how Trunks should have been oh no, I'm sorry, Gohan. Gohan's
Gohan.
character was stupid and he should have been the
Mhm.
strongest Saiyan and it didn't make any sense and all this other stuff. And this other dude's arguing with me about, about why Gohan wouldn't be the strongest Saiyan and stuff like that. And yeah, because I was saying even with Goku present, Gohan should have been, he should have transitioned to being the strongest Saiyan, which super kind of vindicates
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
But the my point is that that this whole time we having like a back, it's like fierce, like we're like
yeah,
almost yelling at each other. But then I'm like, it's a cartoon character, man. Why am I sitting here arguing about a cartoon character? Why am I sitting here arguing about who cares, right?
yeah, yeah,
If I want to have a different version of Gohan, I have a different version of Gohan. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like we grown men arguing, and I just come to that, and I'm just like, bruh, Mermaid is a cartoon character. I don't. You're
yeah,
upset because of what now?
yeah,
Oh Lord, we can't have nothing. And this is why. Look, man. First off, people need to understand something. We didn't, we didn't have a black princess as Disney promised us, right?
yeah, yep.
Because they did Tatiana, right?
Hmm.
But she spends majority of the damn movie as a frog.
Yeah,
Bruh, like we can't have nothing. We can't. She spends the majority of the movie as a frog, dog. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
well,
God,
not only that, she spent another portion of the movie trying to figure out how can she get money to run her business.
man, just
Yeah,
on broken desolate. And then by the time she get quote unquote saved, she ain't got nothing to say.
yeah,
Like, oh Lord, have mercy. Disney, what is y'all doing, man? What is y'all, man? Oh man, did y'all just make oh man. Like, dang, let us have the mermaid, man. We ain't even
yeah,
get a full Princess Tatiana, man. Like,
yeah.
dang. You're like, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, the original version
Oh,
of Little Mermaid. Oh, it is a horror story. Like all that Brothers Grimm stuff that Disney be co-opting,
oh
Cinderella
yeah,
Cinderella is a terrible story. That's facts, Will.
yeah.
Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, Cinderella's like I think at the end of Little Mermaid, she dies, right? She fizzles out and dies at the end of
Mm,
Little Mermaid. I can't remember why, but there's a reason why. I can't remember why she dies. But she ends up dying. Like you read all that stuff. Cinderella, uh what else is there? There's something else. That Brothers Grimm. That's Disney adopt all that stuff and then
mhm.
all those there's fairy tales and stuff over here, man. European folk weird, man. How they were explaining their environment, man. You know, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Well, yeah. And if you want to stay true to the mythological creature, man, they were evil.
Yeah,
They were not good.
yeah, man. Yeah,
So
man. Which is it's all just strange, man. Like at least know the origin story. Like if you know the origin story, you know a little bit of it.
mhm.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't make you. It shouldn't make you. Yeah, this is fact. They're kinda weird,
Oh, bring it
man.
up.
Yeah, they're weird, man. Like, yo, a lot of them. I remember the first time I read, or I read parts of Cinderella, and I was like, "Wait a minute, she cuts off her foot
Yeah.
inside the shoe." So, ma'am, what is Hansel and Gretel? If you ever read that story, Hansel and
Yeah.
Gretel, oh my God,
Oh
oh
yeah.
man, please do not read that to your kids.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it is straight horror stories, man.
She ate her grandmother or
Oh
something.
my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, man. It was crazy, man. You go down that rabbit hole of Brothers Grimm, bro. It is oh my like what oh man, they were just out there eating mushrooms and writing stories, man. Just telling the most gruesomest stuff, man. Oh my gosh, man. But yeah, man, it's 2022, man. Just let things be, man. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If you're not telling story like it'd be weird to have a character like Mulan I could, you know what I'm saying? Have a character Mulan, and Mulan end up being black in a live action movie. Like, all right, I can understand the outrage,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But it's a mermaid, dog. it's a
yeah.
it's a mermaid, man. It's not that serious, man. It's never that serious, man. You know.
The funniest one I seen was somebody said I forgot who the character was, but it was a white character playing Mandela. I said, boy,
Oh
they
man.
try they trying to see if we gonna get outraged. They don't know we over here cracking up, minding our black ass business.
Mind our black ass business, man. That's all we doing. We mind our black ass business. Shoot, we got to fix the stuff in our culture, man. We can't even. They got to paint. They got to paint. I can't remember that female actress. She was a light skinned actress. They painted her dark skin so she could do the Nina Simone movie. Like we look,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
We got our own stuff we got to deal with.
yeah,
All right, we can't be trying to deal with y'all too, man. Like you know what I'm saying. Dang, man. Just let us mind our black ass business, man.
yes,
Gee,
yeah.
dang, let kids go. Just let them go. Just let them go, man. Just let them go. There's
It-
one like one TikTok that's pretty funny. This little white girl. She's like looking at the TV and looking at the thing. Yeah, and she's like, "Is that Whitney Houston?"
yeah. Yeah, but think about that, bro.
My God.
Like you think these kids at the end of the day are worrying about if somebody's black, Latino,
Nah, man.
white, or, man, they ain't thinking about none of that.
Thinking about none of that, man. It's just the adults, man, that corrupt the kids, man. The kids ain't thinking about that, man. Like,
No.
not at all, man. They ain't most definitely not thinking. They just like, oh, it's Little Mermaid. All right, let's go
Yeah.
see it. You
Yeah.
know, then they're gonna sing, and and it's yeah, man. They keep
And
it pushing.
until Prager because he was outraged about Little Mermaid
Oh Lord.
and like then he kind of started attacking like little kids
Mm,
and because it was a poster talking about that little kids make the world better
mm-hmm,
um and he's supposed to be a very intelligent guy, right?
mm-hmm,
I understand the statement because when you talk to little kids, man, they're so innocent.
mm.
They're so innocent. They don't see the wrong with the world,
Yeah.
and they don't play along with the wrong of the world.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen until you start becoming a teenager in your adulthood and so forth, where you really get your independence. Then you start choosing wrong information to go along with.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and we see it. You know what I'm saying? Like again, man. Like to me, like it matters that much to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That the person can't be somebody. It speaks to who you are as a person, right?
yeah,
Like you can't imagine no other person being in there other than somebody. You know what I mean? Like that person has to be. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I mean, like not in person, but like a fictional character, like a mermaid, or even like if people remember during what was that one movie when they were like a bunch of kids and they were killing each other and Sparrow. God dang it, what's the name of that daggone movie?
mm,
I can't remember that. I can't remember the name of that. It was like a popular movie. But one of the
mm.
characters, oh man, what's the name of it? Hunger Games.
Hunger.
Yeah, yeah. Hunger. What is it called? Hunger Games.
They
Or-
had the sparrow in Hunger Games.
Yeah, Hunger Games. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Appreciate that assist, Will. Appreciate you.
yeah,
Yeah, Hunger Games, where the people were upset because the character, was black in that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And Will might be our savior tonight. We might.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right. Helping us out like two old men up in here. Like
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Now, back in the two 2003. I think that was
So
2003.
what that is, Will, come on, Will, get what's that answer?
What's that name again? What's that name again? Just
Yeah,
being old folks. Will's like, man, let me
yeah,
help these old asses out.
yeah.
They old, man. Let me help these old mofos out. But the but people were upset with that in the Hunger Games, man. And if you go
Yeah.
back further, people remember the Cheerios commercial that had the
Oh yeah.
family,
Yeah.
biracial family, and the pretty little girl. People were like, oh,
Yeah.
how can there be a little biracial family enjoying cereal together?
Yeah. I will not eat Cheerios anymore.
Oh my god, man. It's just like, yo, man, that says way more. It says way more about you that you even think
Yeah.
about that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that even crosses your mind, man. You know what I'm saying? That the erasure of people where you like, yo, we gotta straight up Columbus this. All right. We
Yeah.
gotta Columbus this. We gotta, we gotta first take it over, make our comments known. And then
Mhm.
we gotta erase it. Right. We gotta
You
get these people out of here.
so,
Like
so,
like
so I've been thinking about this, bro.
Columbus.
Yeah, like I've been in a little bit of thought about this
Mhm,
and trying to like kind of like pinpoint it back to like at least our era
mhm,
of like the complete like man like the complete divide,
mhm,
right? And you could track it back to like the Obama era and so forth, but because like black people were like so excited
mhm,
that across the world they had video of like black people cheering, jumping, and like crying and just enjoying that moment,
mhm,
right? And for another group, they were preparing for their moment,
mhm.
which became Donald Trump.
Yeah,
And I think no, my son said my son said, white people could have chose anybody. I mean, Einstein, they
mm,
could have chose like, you know, um who else? Name some, just name some white people that really contribute like really good things in society.
mhm.
They had a long list of just good people to choose, and they chose Donald Trump
Yeah, yeah.
to match what we were cheering for.
Mhm.
And that right there, man, like when I kind of like really thought about it, like when my son said that, I was just like, damn, you're right. Like they had a history of choosing whoever they wanted to choose,
Mhm.
but they chose the stupidest person.
Yeah, man.
They chose the person who lived in chaos. They chose the person who was hateful. They chose the person who was arrogant. Like, been a long list of bad things when you do your pros and cons. And it's just like, why?
Yeah, I think it's to preserve the standard, like the default, man. You know what I'm saying? It's it's I won't say it's I won't say it's a survival mechanism because there's no, you're not surviving because of mermaids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because a
yeah.
mermaid is white, like, you know what I'm saying? But I think the overarching of it is that, for me, the overarching of it, this is that we can't ignore these things, man. Like,
Mhm.
we spend way too much time ignoring this stuff, man.
Yeah.
And again, like I keep saying, these things are just manifest itself in different ways and different, and it just continues. And
Mhm.
racism, like, this country should be doing more to end racism, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you just sit down and you just like, oh, I'm gonna just let these folks just say whatever they want to say. Well, now it's a big news story, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it gets back to the kids, right? It gets back to
Mhm.
the kids in some way. So now these kids are looking at their friends who they never even looked at in that manner, in their skin, which is their skin complexion, right?
Mhm.
They start looking at them, and then you begin to divide, and then you begin the separation, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I mean? And then the whole cycle just continues, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
continues. And so, so we have a, I think for a lot of us, man, who, especially those of us who are in our mid 40s and so and up, and I would say the late 30s, or late 30s to mid 40s or so and up. I mean, we have an obligation, man, to our grandkids, man, to just try to work hard and eradicate bigotry, racism, bigotry. We can't do anything about bigotry. Bigotry will exist,
Yeah.
but really to end racism, man. To end racism, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't think that when I say racism, I'm saying, because racism is more about systems. So, you know,
Hmm.
you getting rid of the black mermaid ain't gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying? You know, however, it would be racism and racist if your anger about a black mermaid is stopping that black person from making money. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's when it becomes racist. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's when it becomes racism, I would say. That's because you're using the society to affect,
Hmm.
individual. And you're not just affecting that individual, because there were black people that did her hair, there were black people that did her makeup, there were black people. You're stopping all these black people from making money. So, and other, ethnic groups and things, and minority groups that were connected and that stuff. So, you know, so
Good,
you let
good,
the mermaid be.
good, good luck on trying to educate um, mainly white people on what racism really is.
Yeah.
Um, because literally, I literally was spending my time kindly, because it was a black police officer, um, I think in Ohio, and
Mhm.
she was like a chief or something,
Mhm.
that her her officers were literally like they were quitting, they were criticizing her.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
They didn't have a real reason why, right? Um, and she made a statement basically calling it out. It
Mhm.
was because she was black and she was a female.
Mhm.
So whenever she said something, they feel like she didn't have authority.
Mhm. Mhm.
So people got online and was calling her racist
Mm.
because she used the word white officers, because 76%, almost 80% of her um officers that were underneath her
Mhm.
were white, um basically disagreed with her.
Mhm.
And she used that term and they called her racist. And I'm like, well, she didn't fire none of them.
Yeah, yeah.
She didn't discipline any of them. I said, so where's she being racist? Because she used the word white.
Mhm.
And, I got called racist for saying that.
Yeah, that's not
Y-
racist. That's
You
just
know what I'm saying?
things
It,
out
so
of order.
I, right. So I had to pull up the Harvard study
Mhm.
on racism, and also like it was another college study on racism that literally went into the actual historical study of racism,
Yeah.
and they still were denying what racism is because they believe only the first sentence when it says, you know using race
Mhm.
as a barometer to mistreat someone.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
as far as they read.
Mm.
And I'm just like, no, it's deeper than that. Like you're not even talking about the social interaction
Yeah.
of how racism actually plays out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll talk about this, book, and maybe we put a cap on this little mermaid thing, man. So I got
Yeah.
this book called Systematic Racism 101, man. I don't know, you see that? Systematic Racism 101. And I like this book because it tells you what racism is in this country. And also it's just, it does it in like a meme form, you know what I'm saying? It does it in
Mhm.
pictures, so people can understand, you know what I'm saying? Because again, we live in a microwave society where people want information right away. They don't want to be,
Ooh, colors.
yeah, colors
Ooh,
and impact. So, and there is information, in here, you know what I'm saying? But it's a great book, Systematic Racism 101, man. It allows you to have those conversations about racism. In the country is very, it's not that thick. It's not that thick, and it's mostly, it's like 170 something pages. So, you know,
man,
I'm gonna plug that book. Uh,
yeah, that's a good book to actually.
Yeah.
talk about.
It's a good. This is a great. This is I love how they how they put this together. And this was put. And this book was by I can't remember the people. It's a nonprofit who put together this book. So it's a great book to have. But yeah, man, it is you know yeah, just understanding racism in this country, man, and more importantly, man, just let black people mind our
Yeah,
black ass business.
yeah.
You know,
So
that's
you're
it.
saying the book isn't funded by George Soros?
I don't know, man. Somebody will make that connection somewhere, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, George Soros wrote that book. He wrote that book, for real. Oh my gosh, man, it's that stuff is funny, man. That stuff is
Yeah.
funny, man. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. You know what I'm saying? Podcast, man. We just here chopping it up, talking it about Little Mermaid controversy and some controversy in the Game of Thrones about, black characters and erasure and racism and what that is, you know what I'm saying? And also plug the book Systematic Racism 101, a visual history of the impact of racism in America. Um, Oh, Living Cities. That's what it is. It's they call Living Cities. Um, you know, that's a nonprofit name. Go check that book out, man. Another and another topic. I won't say it's a funny topic. It's a terrible topic. We're talking about the fraud that Brett Favre and others were participated in order to build a volleyball arena or a volleyball court,
Mhm.
for Southern Miss University. And the former governor and Brett Favre and others, they participated in the government pulling money over the tune of $12 million, pulling money out of a fund that was for a welfare fund for the
Mhm.
neediest of peoples in the state of Mississippi. Let me remind people that Mississippi is the poorest state in the country, and it's one of the poorest places where people can live in the world.
Mhm.
Um, uh, they took that money and used that money for to purchase a stadium, amongst other things. People were saying, like Brett Favre was saying, saying that they were giving speeches and they didn't give speeches, and the government paid for them, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my whole issue with that is that, man, and I said to one of my boys on the Facebook post, man, like, look, man, I understand that part of American enterprise is government corruption,
Yeah.
right? But it's always these folks who are always telling black people, or just telling people in general, telling poor people in general, about bootstraps. But here you
Mhm.
are, you already have boots, and you're trying to take away other people's boots. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? To build something that could have came out of your own money. You should have known enough people to put a volleyball court up. You know what I'm saying? And that is, to me, that is most definitely government corruption. At its worst. When you're taking from the least of these,
Mhm.
to build something that a majority of them, these people, who's going to come from these circumstances, um, uh, yeah, made over 115 mil, and he could
Mhm.
come up with 25 or whatever
Yeah.
that thing costs. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
Exactly, man. Dipping into a welfare fund, man. And again, man, we gotta remind people that there's welfare, being coming from that circumstance, man. That's for kids. That's for kids
Yeah.
and elderly people. That's what
Yeah.
it's for mainly. You know what I'm saying? And you just carelessly, not caring, about folk. You know what I'm saying? So, but my bad. I'm rambling on. Go ahead,
No,
bro.
no, no. You good. You good, man. Because people got to understand that that was also money that was given to the state from the
Hmm.
federal government.
Yeah,
So, so again, like
taxes,
taxes,
still
taxes.
your taxes, your
Yeah.
taxes. Yeah.
And when you hear people then complain about people getting $10,000 for student loan forgiveness or $20,000 for student loan forgiveness and so forth. You got to understand the mechanisms of how the government is used by a portion of people to siphon off taxes
Mhm.
for corrupt people. Like this is this is a part of how our government functions.
Yeah,
Um, so much that they are pushing back a introduced bill to take on them owning stock options.
mm.
Like it, it's a feature. It's
Yeah, it's a feature.
corruption is
Yeah,
a feature in
corruption
our
is a feature in our
yeah
government, man. It is, man. And the folks who figured this out were Italian mobs and Irish mobs. They figured this out. I was like, oh, we don't need to be getting busted for FBI for
yeah
for
yeah
for crime. We can just go be a politician. That's what
yeah
a lot of mobs. You stop hearing about a lot of mobs. They
yeah
became
yeah.
a lot of them became
Eh,
politics.
Look
But
look,
mhm,
it's the same thing I was telling my boy one day like a couple years ago. He laughed at me because we were in a conversation where he was like, "Man, the mob died off and blah blah blah." I said, "No, they didn't. They
mhm.
just changed up industries."
They just changed industries. That's it. They
And
changed
he
it.
never could understand what I was saying because I was explaining to him, well, why would they continue to be, you know, businessmen that extort other business when they have a chance to go to jail when they can just become the politician that that literally is protected by the law.
Protected by the law to extort the
Yeah,
yeah, they're protected by the government, man.
yeah,
Yeah, they're protected by the government. Yeah, man.
yeah. This
Yeah.
this is what goes down.
Mhm. Oh, Lord, I didn't know this. Hold on. They also took 2.5 million to invest in a drug, quote unquote, drug company that Brett owns a share of that was supposed to create a drug to help. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Somebody
God,
lock this man up, man. Lock these folks up, man. Lock
gosh,
these folks up, man. No, that's crazy.
yeah.
That like that's crazy to me, man. And my whole point about, because I guess Brett Favre paid back some portion of it, and I don't think the other folks involved did. Um uh all this dirt coming to light. Yeah,
Mhm.
look, look, man, and here's my thing. Look, Shannon Sharp was right about Brett Favre, man. Shannon Sharp and I can't remember. Dang it, I can't remember her name. She's a female football analyst, Korean woman. I can't remember her name on ESPN, but she was right, man. Like her and Brett was right, man. When it comes to the hypocrisy, right? The hypocrisy.
Mhm.
We talked about race, in the earlier segment, but the hypocrisy of how an individual like Brett Favre is treated versus somebody like Colin Kaepernick, who just
Yeah.
nicked, right? Brett Favre was out here, a drug addict, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
yeah, there we go. Mina Kimes, man. Mina Kimes, go watch her response to Brett Favre, man. And she was like on point about, what I'm saying, how he was out here, of course he had drugs. I'm not gonna get on there. Everybody has
Mhm.
addiction, but things that would get guys suspended, with
Oh,
drug,
yeah.
the sexual harassment stuff that just went, it wasn't that big a deal, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And then, of course, on top of him being one of the most overrated quarterbacks in NFL history, one of the most overrated Hall of Famers, you know what I'm saying? He just had the numbers, you know what I mean? But I remember vividly of Brett Favre throwing away the Packer game when they played the Eagles because he just threw the ball up in the air. You know what I'm saying? This man would throw away games. Everybody always want to talk about his touchdowns, but nobody talk about his interceptions. You know what I'm saying? One of the most overrated quarterbacks. You know what I mean? But the hypocrisy, man, like how this didn't make the news cycle, man, as much as Colin Kaepernick did, as much
Yeah.
as Mike Vick did, as
Mhm.
much as and other black athletes, you know what I mean, when they go through trouble and things of that nature. This was corruption. This was, you know what I mean, taking away from people, taking tax dollars, man. This is why
Mhm.
voting matters. This is why
Yeah.
voting matters. People don't understand that the governor is a president. That's what the governor is. The
Of the state, yeah.
president of the state. The president of the United States can't tell the governor to do anything. That's how our
Mm-mm.
our Constitution was designed. You know what I'm saying? And of course, there's some flaws with that because you can have states like Florida.
Mhm.
There's a straight fascist,
Mhm.
autocratic state. you know but you can have issues like this where the governor can decide, literally decides where money goes, right?
Mhm.
That governor could have took those funds and been like, you know what, I'm gonna beef up the public schools, right? Because that benefit these same kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna create a daycare program. I'm gonna create an after school program. I'm gonna create these things that still benefits, these kids. You know what I'm saying? And or something to benefit elderly, right?
Can I shoot you one? Can I shoot you one better? Because it was down in Mississippi, right?
Yeah, Mississippi.
Okay, Jackson, Mississippi. What's going down?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. In Jackson, Mississippi. In Jackson,
They
Mississippi.
they've been asking for funds for money for over years at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was during the Trump administration with the last guy.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
got money in order to fix their water, their infrastructure, and then Biden just sent money to the state again, and the Secretary of the Department of Energy, black guy. He went
Mhm.
down there to do a face to face to see what's going on and why the money, and the mayor talked about how it's hard getting, getting the governor to give that town, the majority black town, like 80% money, you know what I mean, in order to fix infrastructure, you know
The
what I'm saying?
state capital.
Yeah. It's to say
It's
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 state
the state capital
state
with majority black people.
Yeah, yeah. Now there are some good folk down there,
Yeah.
who are pushing back. You know what I mean? Trying to get all this stuff, trying to get a lot of these stuffs, fixed. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, man, I seen that, man. Yeah, yeah, said he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy to be in Hattiesburg. And then later, the governor is asked about Brett Favre, or just asked about the volleyball little court or whatever that's built and stuff. He's like, well, I don't like the fact that that Jackson State is getting a stadium. You know what I mean? Again, he understood what he was doing with the message, right? He understood. He understood with that message. He was like, hey, look, I don't like them black, the HBCU getting money. And
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
saying I don't like pulling general fund money out of general funds. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It is
But
crazy.
them black people were asking for money.
Them black people ask for money. And did you hear about that damn mermaid?
Yeah.
Like, yo, it is crazy. It's crazy out here.
That
The
god dang mermaid. I'm tired of this wokeness.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, for sure. Most definitely, it's a booster and alumni. It most definitely is. Um, you know, uh, but but it's just, you know what I mean? Like people, and this is why we don't have high voter turnout, just in this country,
Mhm.
because of things like this. This creates apathy, right? Because people will be like, well, see, the system doesn't work, so it don't matter if I don't vote. You know what
And
I
I'm,
mean?
I'm,
Like,
I'm actually glad you
like,
said that, right? Because
mhm,
Mississippi is also, I think, number one
mhm.
in the least voting place or state.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. They're gerrymandered, to so that they don't have power, so the black representation don't have power in
Mhm.
a lot of those places. And they're, and they pretty much suppress votes by
Mhm.
doing things like this, by making government corrupt, right? That's one way you suppress votes, right? By making government corrupt. But I will say this, you know what I'm saying? You got a black woman in Tennessee who was convicted of misuse of government funds or something like that.
Mhm.
She about to go to jail. You had Kwame Kilpatrick, right? In Detroit, you had Jesse Jackson's son. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Jesse Jackson Jr. You know what I'm saying? All these individuals convicted, went to jail for government corruption in some sort of way they found, you know what I'm saying? But they're not going to do anything with these folks, man. They're not going to find no government corruption when it's actually, and I don't think it's more about the ethics. It's more about morality of it. You know what I'm saying? It's more about the morality, man, of it, of how you treat people and how you see people. You know what I'm saying? especially for somebody like Brett Favre. Brett Favre, you came from these conditions. You came from those same poor conditions,
Mhm.
dude. And you don't see nothing wrong with just taking, because now, what I mean, you have over $100 million, and for some odd reason you can come up with 25, which is insane.
Yeah,
Which is insane.
yeah, yeah.
You need to go sell some more Wrangler jeans, homie. You know, sell some Wrangler, you sell some Wrangler jeans. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that I think that's the biggest part to me, man. Is that, look, man, it probably won't be any. Most definitely won't be any prosecution. The FBI is looking into it. But I think that the morality of it all, man, it's that's the problem that I have. That's the problem that I have with it.
So another, like, you're talking about something else, right? That we got to understand, that we touched on earlier in the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? About the sea change that's
Mm-hmm.
happening, and a part of the outrage is what's happening to the government, and I'm going to use a phrase that everybody's been using for the last few years, of cleaning the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's happening to the government. The government is actually sort of kind of working for us to clean the swamp up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing the backlash of certain politicians, business people, and so forth, of not wanting that swamp clean.
Yeah, man. Because a lot of people benefit from it, man. Like,
Hmm.
and again, there's this myth. There's this myth people keep selling to folks, right? To us, you know what I mean? They keep selling to us. Oh, just work hard, right? Yeah, if you work hard, you will,
Hmm.
you will get a lot of money, and you will create comfortability. Like, no, people use
Yeah.
the government to create that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To
Yes.
create their comfortability. You know what I mean? Brett
Yeah.
Favre was like, "Yo, I ain't gotta spend none of my bread. Hold on, man. Or only gotta smoke, spend just a small piece of my bread." You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Oh, y'all gonna give me money for
Yeah.
doing nothing? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because
It's
if
how.
you go back and look, you know what I mean? You get money for doing nothing.
Hmm.
This is what the Trump tax cuts were, right?
Yes.
So people can earn money doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
Just making one simple transaction, you know what I mean, in the stock market or whatever, you know what I mean, and they don't have to do anything else, you know what I mean. While the rest of y'all better go get your boots on, and you better have some bootstraps, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying. And that's what they're selling to you, you know what I mean. An individual, again, man. Again, the sports world, again, I think a lot of this is picking up steam, but it should have been had steam. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is from 2017. This is 2020.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
2022.
well, now you're starting to see, like, people, like, talk about, like, his character, right?
Mhm,
From
mhm.
from when he was in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, he has always been a terrible person,
Mhm, mhm.
and it's just like, as a Philadelphia fan, we didn't really care about Green Bay anyway. Like that, even though, like, they were never in our division, like, we didn't like Green Bay.
Yeah.
Um, and primarily most of that was because of Brett Favre.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and the way that's now coming out, like how he treated his players, like how he treated people in the locker room, how he treated, like, when they drafted Aaron Rodgers,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
all of these things, like, he just always was a terrible person.
Yeah.
And when, to get back to a point that you made earlier in the conversation, because no one said nothing all of those years,
Yeah, man.
he continued to have it.
He continued it, right? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because it becomes normal, right? It becomes normalized, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's just like government corruption, right? Like, it becomes normalized. You should not be able to use those funds for anything other than prescribed, but you can't. But when nepotism is created in the system, when the system, a lot of these systems and a lot of these things are created by who knows who, right? That's
Hmm.
what I realized, being out of the military and in the job workforce. A lot of stuff is who knows who. You know what I'm saying? That's
Hmm.
how a lot of these folks make money. You dig? So, but at the end of the day, I still come back to the morality of it all. You know what I mean? Like, You know what I mean? Because what's the next thing you'll see? You'll see these folks on, at some Christian event, right? Talking about Jesus and God, and you know what I mean,
Hmm.
and all these other
Hmm.
things. While you just went here and you moved, you did the opposite of what Jesus preaches in the Bible.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you did
yeah,
the total opposite of that. And
yeah,
you know what I mean? Just the morality of it all, man. You gotta be such a low life, man, to view people's in need and like they don't need this. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You know who need this? These these volleyball players, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Whose
yeah.
parents got money,
Who we're gonna make money off of?
who they're gonna make money off of, right? That's
Yeah,
what it is, man.
because
Yeah.
we know how expensive volleyball is because
Oh,
our kids play
volleyball
volleyball.
is expensive, man.
Yes, not a
It
cheap sport.
Oof, it's not a cheap sport, man. It's not a cheap
Mm.
sport, man. And yeah, man, I was talking to a parent about that, man, about how volleyball not cheap because I was telling her like because as when you go to volleyball, it's not that black girls don't play volleyball, they just
Mhm.
don't travel,
Yeah,
and that's what it is. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I remember being at FAMU. There was a volleyball tournament. I think I think Nadia was playing at that time too. I think, but we had a volleyball tournament in Tallahassee, and Brett Favre's daughter was there. Brett Favre was there. It
Mm.
was like 2014 or something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. They made it a big deal. Like she's this great volleyball player. To me, she wasn't, but I don't know.
mhm, mhm.
At the time, she was on like 14 at the time. So maybe,
She was good because she had the last name Favre.
well, there's a lot of that, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, man, put a cap on this is that, again, man, I think where I'm at is just, man, we really have to rise up against these folks or this message about stop letting people tell us myths, right? This myth of bootstraps. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, there are wealthy people in this country who are given boots who
Yeah,
are given boots, and then they're given other people's boots. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like they
yes,
take part of the American enterprise is government corruption. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It is government corruption. So But yeah, bro.
Well, shoot, I give him one. Go listen to Rick Scott's Bootstrap uh, interview that he was having or press conference where
Hmm.
he was talking about we have to get back to people pulling themselves up by the bootstrap. Well, then after you watch that, then go to his tax plan that he has for America.
The one that takes away Social Security. That's what
Bingo.
they do. They want to take
Bing-
away Social Security
and raise taxes
and raise,
only on the middle class.
yeah, raise taxes, man.
Well, not middle class, but the lower in middle class.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, man.
So again,
Yeah, they're
you
trying to.
didn't hear the pushback from the Republican Party. And when I say pushback, I'm saying they are not going out in the media saying, "Hey, Rick Scott, that is not our plan."
Hmm.
They're being quiet about it,
Hmm.
and Mitch McConnell had a few quiet words about Rick Scott, but Rick Scott kind of gave him the middle finger because Mitch McConnell is losing power, which they don't understand what's happening in the GOP. Mitch McConnell is losing power.
Which is why Trump is coming out and Trump is being against them and all that other stuff.
Bingo.
They don't want Mitch McConnell in there
Yeah,
because they want these yahoos who are like the governor of Mississippi, who's going to just come in there and wreck the whole system, man, wreck
yeah,
the whole system. Where they want to, when we're talking about Social Security, what they want to do is they want people to work till they die. They
yeah,
literally want, but they don't understand that that's the problem. The problem is we don't have a mechanism where we can pull older people out of the workforce.
yes.
You know what I'm
To
saying?
put younger people in.
Put younger people into those positions. So you have people who are in their 70s, 80s, you know what I mean? Not just in our government, but in a lot of positions they're just there. They just show up to work.
Yeah,
They show up to work because their heart still beating. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So we don't have a system, and that's what Social Security was supposed to have been. So Social
Mhm.
Security was supposed to have been you at a certain point. people are young enough where they can retire, you know what I mean? And then you pull them out of the workforce and,
Mhm.
gave them enough money so that they can live, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But now you can't even live on social folks can't even live on Social Security. And now they want to privatize it. Oh
Mm.
Lord have mercy. Privatize
Oh,
mean they won't put your money in the stock market. That's what that means. And
well,
you
yes,
won't get a lot of
right.
it.
And you see how that works for the 401k, right?
Yeah, 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 man.
You know,
Mhm,
in January, the news didn't talk about it, but in Florida and Texas, which I wish they had done a bigger investigation on each state,
mhm,
Florida, they lost 600 plus billion dollars
mhm,
in 401k, you know, money.
mhm, mhm,
Um, it may be a million, I meant, but it was million. And
mhm,
then Texas was 300 plus million.
mhm. And
And
it's because they don't collect income tax, state income tax.
well,
It's their taxes.
right. But the problem is that they're allowing the system itself to steal the money,
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, 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 because that's what's happening
Mhm,
with 401ks because it has a portion of it has been privatized
mhm, mhm.
away from pensions.
Right.
That's what 401k is the privatization of funds.
Instead of giving a pension, you do a 401k. And if
Yes.
you didn't contribute into your 401k, then that's on you, right? So the military did that too, when they got the blended
Mhm,
retirement. So as I was heading out the door, I remember talking to a lot of young bucks who are automatically enrolled into the blended
mhm,
retirement system, which is their 401k. And I told them, I was like, yeah, man, y'all gonna have to decide whether you want the new phone or put money in your retirement. That's what you're gonna have to decide on. Do you want those fresh pair of Jordans, those fresh pair of J's? You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? I think that Ford or Dodge did everybody a favor by discontinuing the Charger. For the military folk, so they'll save money from there, especially the Army. They'll save some money from that.
I'm getting that scat pack.
Hey, that was Man, I'm telling you, man, everybody in the army got it. That was a recruiting tool, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You come into the army, man, we give you the charger, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's really what they want people to do. They want people to make money on, hey, whether you want stuff now or
Mhm,
you want to retire
yeah.
early without working. And that's what they want to do with the blended retirement system, you know what I'm saying? While at the same time allowing banks and all these people on Wall Street to have you deposit money and they gamble that money essentially. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. They're gambling, they're gambling it, and also using certain life fund mechanisms to invest the money, which they don't lose any money,
Hmm.
and and then let you borrow it back from them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Pretty
so
much.
you give them the money so
Mhm.
they can borrow it back from you at a interest rate.
Yeah.
That's the system that they are putting us in,
Mhm.
um, where every turn is somebody that's making money off of just you just breathing.
Just breathing, right, right, right. They're just making off money just you being alive. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Which again, when we talk about the Brett Favre thing, man, like they just disregarded people's lives, man.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They disregarded, kids' lives. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: while the Brett Favre story is being told, you know what I'm saying? They're not telling the story of the family that might have missed a meal because they didn't get a welfare check, right? They're not telling a story of a family, you know what I mean, that probably, wasn't able to get housing. You know what I'm saying? They're not telling the story of the elderly person, you know what I mean, that would have missed a meal, or you know what I mean, or froze, to death or something like that. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? That part of the story is not being told. You know what I'm saying? The least of these, we're not telling their story. You know what I mean? Because the X amount of millions of dollars basically was given
le-
away.
less than 100 people got money from the SNAP program and from those programs to help feed them in the whole entire state.
That's crazy, man.
Less than 100 people
That's
in the
crazy.
poorest state in the nation.
Poorest state in the nation, one of the poorest places to live and
Yeah,
in the world.
Yeah, less
Not
than
just
100 people
yeah, not just
got
America,
funds.
not just
Now,
America, the world.
now, I would like to see the statistics on what was the demographics
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
of those 100 people,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I'm pretty sure that's going to play a part as well.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, the governor, like brother Will said that, man. The governor's talking about, that he wasn't happy. He was glad to be out of Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Jackson, Mississippi. Like he's sending a dog whistle to tell you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You know what I mean? When he's like, oh well, I don't even like that Jackson State's getting a football team.
Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
sir, they're the reason that Jackson, Mississippi is has an economy. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? But the dog whistle, right? The dog whistle, it goes back to Little Mermaid conversation where,
Hmm.
you know what I mean, where, it's an erasure of people. That's what they're doing when they're saying things like that. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Because people got to remember, when Ronald Reagan ran for president in 1980, where did he begin his campaign? Philadelphia, Mississippi. Well, why is
Yep.
that important? Well, you had the Freedom Riders in
Hmm.
Philadelphia, Mississippi. He was only like 3 miles away from where the bus burned. You know what I mean? Where the bus got bombed and three individuals was killed. I think two white people and a black man
Hmm.
um, were killed. You know what I'm saying? The dog whistle, man. The importance of, you know what I mean, of ignoring, what I mean, the bigotry. You know what I mean? When people say and do things like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When it's symbolic, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? When it's symbolic, and that's really what it is. But I wish that I hope that the news story put it on, hey, about the people who probably would have went without,
yeah,
you know, instead of
yeah,
just talking about what a piece of shit Brett Favre was and
yeah.
all these other people.
Because people think that bigotry is silent. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like the story that you're telling, like that's in history is, what Ronald Reagan did. If you listen closely, you can see, you can hear the bigotry, right? If you put the pieces
Mhm.
together using history and so forth. But people look at it as just a snippet in a moment,
Mhm,
and they believe that the bigotry was silent in that moment because, oh, he was just running a campaign there.
right, right, right. Or, oh, it was such a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yes,
No, and
yeah,
I tell people it's like, man, we have a very misunderstanding of time when people say that. Like Rosa Parks died in 2009. President Obama gave her the Medal of Freedom, I believe. Like
yeah,
we have to have an understanding of time, man. Like we're living with people we got Vietnam vets who are still alive today. Like you know what I mean? Like a lot of people aren't understanding, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the queen just died. She was 100 years old, and there's people that wanted, again, they wanted black people to care. And we're like, we don't
yeah.
care. They want African people to care. They're like, we don't
Sh-
care, man. They're the reason we're in the state that we're in. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Shout out to African TikTok man and Irish TikTok man. Shout out to y'all, man.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Hey, they came to with our powers combined. We
yeah.
will the queen.
I ain't gonna forget about you, India TikTok man. Y'all did y'all thing, man.
Yeah,
Y'all did
India
y'all thing.
too, man. India too, man. Yeah, they know why some of their aunties and their uncles. I forget what the name they call for their uncles, but they know why some of their aunties and uncles are light. They know
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
They know why. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Who's the former governor we got here? Who's full Indian, but she doesn't go by her Indian name.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, what's her
there go
name?
the old folks again.
Yeah, the old
Mhm.
folks again. Yeah, yeah. Begin with a K. I can't remember her name. Dang, I can't remember her name. She doesn't go by her Indian name. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
She
she.
wants to run for president. Uh, in the next election.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's what she's kind of setting herself up for. But
Hmm.
when you listen to her, she sounds very intelligent, but she has no clue of freaking policy.
Hmm.
Like she is freaking lost when it comes to actual like how the government functions.
Yeah. I mean, she was always lost, man.
Yeah,
Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley. Yeah,
Yeah. her government name is Nimrata. Yeah. Her dad used to work, her dad, I think he still does. He works at an HBCU or something down here.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Been working there for a long time. Long
Wow.
time. Yeah, long time. I think he's still there, or he used to be there. But he was there for a long time though.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, man. All right, bro. Anything else, man?
Man, nothing much, man.
Much, man.
Much.
Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you guys, man, for tuning in, man. Appreciate you, brother Will, for keeping us straight, man. Keeping us old folks straight, man. Keeping our memory good, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Being old, man. But man. Man. The one thing I'll say, man. Appreciate you, brother. Man, appreciate you, brother Kaylee, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Again, man. Tune into
Thank
them
you
boys
guys.
over in that feeling podcast, man. They got like a ton of shows for everything, man. They cover a lot of stuff, man. Over
Yeah.
there. And that feeling DATFEELIN podcast show. That feeling podcast. Go check them boys out, man. Yeah, man. But I just want to say, man, through it all, man, you know, oh yeah, for sure, man. We most definitely gotta do the same thing, man. We most definitely gotta do more, do collabs and stuff, you know, trying to be like y'all over in that feeling, man. We trying to be like y'all, man. But again, man, the old man be messing up, dog. The old man, I ain't trying to do no TikToks. You feel me? Nah, I have to, man. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to
Man,
do
man, man.
be the old man doing the TikTok, like you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this TikTok.
Man,
All
man,
right.
man, let me tell you something, man. I'm look, I'm a TikTok done saved me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
but believe it or not, man, my kids they always say, man, it's a space for old people. I mean, young people.
yeah, yeah.
But when I go on there, I see nothing but people our age,
Hmm.
older, and they're sharing information, right?
Yeah,
The young kids, they all on there just, they dancing and stuff.
they
And
dancing and stuff,
yeah,
man.
they dancing and stuff.
That's how you
Yeah,
gotta get
so,
people to pay attention to you on TikTok, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. And maybe we have to do a TikTok and dance while we're giving out
Dance
information.
like that. Hey, so we're gonna talk about systematic racism.
Wow.
Yeah, let me tell you about let me tell you about white supremacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see you shake white supremacy. shake the racism. Oh my god, man. That's what we gonna have to
Yeah.
do, man. I don't know, man. That's
Word, bro.
it.
Word,
We
bro.
TikTok, Oh my god, man. But man. But yeah, man. But man, my final thoughts. Yeah, for sure. We would go, hey, we might, you know what? We good, man. We would probably go viral, bro. We would probably go viral, man. I just gotta get on there, man, and stop being so adverse, you know, being an old man, being an old man, Goddamn Snickers went from 35 to 50 cents. Goddamn it.
Yeah.
You know, but I'll say to black people out there, man, just people in general, man, stop being, afraid of change, man, or afraid of diversity. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, you know, and enjoy other cultures and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And for black people who out there minding our black ass business, you know what I mean? When you're confronted with this bigotry and things of that nature, we got to handle it because, because it is about our kids and our grandkids, you know what I'm saying? The future that they grow up in. A lot of our kids and grandkids are already experiencing way more different cultures and ethnicities and
Mhm.
things that we experience, you know what I'm saying? Because of how we grew up as Gen Xers, you know what I'm saying? A lot of our friends are biracial, bi-ethnic, and everything like that. So, you know what I'm saying? We have to, you know, uh, 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 lead the world better, man. Lead the world a better place, man. And understand voting, man. Voting matters. The reason Brett Favre and everybody else that was involved was able to take money away from those in need is because they had an accomplice. That accomplice was somebody who was working in government. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And the other accomplice were the people who voted for them. You know what I mean? The
yeah.
other accomplice were people who decided not to vote. So, voting is important, man. Voting is important. But go ahead, bro.
Uh, yeah, man. I'm glad you said that. To close it out, man. Like, look, it's a reason why they're trying to stop you from voting,
Mhm.
and it's a reason why you're going to see in these next coming months a portion of other black people that tried not to get black people to vote.
Mhm.
We have to stay focused and understand that those people don't want you to participate for a certain reason, and it's usually financial,
Mhm.
to stop funds from going to better causes for community and the betterment of other communities.
Mhm.
That's something that we have to stay focused, and we have to learn that we have to show up every election, not
Mhm.
every other election, like show up every election.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're going to change this.
Yeah, man. That's it, man. That's it, man. We gotta leave the world better, man. But appreciate you guys, man, tuning in, man. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend and have a great week, man. This Tay, this JY, we at Yah'm saying, we out, man.
We
Peace.
out. Have a good one, y'all.